Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Special thank you to our sponsors, the Gillette Home team of Keller Williams Midwillamette. For all your real estate needs, go to teamgillette.com. Have your dreams been buried under mounds of responsibilities? For help, contact Emily Harmon Coaching and Consulting at emilyharmon.com.
Hey.
Woo! Here we are on The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. It is Wednesday, and you know what Wednesdays bring? Every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Scott and I are here on The Experience, and we're talking about experiences of life and amazing people, and we bring you amazing guests. And we just came off The Experience Backstage, which, if you have not tuned in yet, Instagram every Wednesday before we come over here, starting at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We're on The Experience Backstage with our friend Shree, and we are bringing you great fun and getting ready to come to this show and great video tips from Shree and all kinds. Who knows what the show will bring, right, Scott?
Absolutely. You know, as we say, we bring in the most remarkable people on the planet every week, and today is no exception.
That's right. It isn't. And we are always excited. And Kermit's here to help us if we need a little bit more excitement. So there we go. We'll just get him on the top of the show, right, Scott?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's with Shree at Backstage on Instagram only. And here we are on Facebook, LinkedIn, and the YouTube. And I encourage everybody to make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Right. How do they do that, Scott?
Go to theexperience.video and hit the subscribe button.
It magically appeared below you as you were speaking. You know, I tell you that we try to make it easy for you. We're trying to build up our YouTube page. It really benefits you to be a subscriber because it is quick access to all the past amazing content and people we've had on. And Bruce and Mary have both been on before, our guests today. And so it is going to be an amazing show today with the two of them. But if you want to catch their previous appearances, you can get that on there, plus the amazing other people, which include our wonderful sponsors, the Gillette Home team and Emily Harmon, who both have been on the show as well. And so we would love to have you check that out. And we just want to give a big shout out to them who make this show possible, Scott. And
Absolutely.
We're just blessed.
Over 2.5 years, the Gillette Home team has been a major sponsor for the experience. So thank you to Laura and the team and all of the families that they help. And I was one of those families.
That's right.
They're not only a sponsor, we're a client.
Yeah, Laura her team is amazing, right, Scott?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so much experience.
Yeah, exactly. And then what about our other amazing new sponsor, Emily Harmon Coaching? She has been a great friend and a contributor to many of our live streams.
Yeah, absolutely. She is such a real person. And in fact, we got to meet her in real life. We got to have lunch with her in Portland,
3D.
Oregon, in 3D. And it's fabulous, And just speaking of that, with our guests, I was able to see Mary Fain Brandt speaking down in Phoenix last fall in September at the Business Expo. I was there with Holly Jean Jackson and Matt Rouse, meeting them live for the first time, and the Pirate Syndicate, Russ Johns, and Russ and I went over and listened to Mary and was able to meet her. And Bruce was coming through the Northwest here, and you and Bruce were able to meet and have coffee.
Oh, it was so great. I was so blessed that he took the time when he came through. And yes, not only did we stop and have coffee at Isaac's Coffee downtown in Salem, Oregon, which is an amazing place, but we got to walk along the river and just really chat and get to know each other even better. So it was such an amazing time. And beautiful. So anyway, yeah. So I want to remind everybody, don't forget, have we told you that we're here at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time every Wednesday? And before this, on the Experience Backstage, join us every week. We have so much fun. And, the one thing, Scott, that I think is so amazing about this platform is not only do we get to get our experience of life out, you and I, but we get to give so many different perspectives and insights about the experience of life and what's really possible and the amazing good things that you can do with your life by listening and learning from these amazing people with wisdom, right, Scott?
There's been business collaborations from our guests that have come on. There's been movements, the 1,000 Thanks hashtag, and that movement was created when Dr. Cindy Milligan was our guest almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. And I mean, there's so many great things. So many great things that happen. It's an amazing platform. And it also helps encourage you. If you're feeling down on Wednesday morning, just join us in Kermie.
So you talk about, we're here every Wednesday. You can set your calendar by it.
That's right. You can. You can.
What day is it? The experience is on. It's Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific time.
I think we should change Wednesdays to the Experience Day.
Experience Day. Let's bring in our guests and kick this thing off.
Let's do it. Hey, we're going to bring in, we always go ladies first. We're going to bring Mary in first and say hi to Mary Fain Brandt. Woo.
Hello. Oh my gosh. So I love the intro video and I love Kermit because it totally got me energized and ready and excited for this show. And yes, it was so nice to meet you in person last year. Gosh, that was a long time ago already.
Doesn't it seem like it?
It does. It seems like forever ago because I think it was last September. The business expo.
It was a business expo down there in Phoenix at the convention center.
Yeah,
and a lot of great folks, and it was wonderful to be able to meet you and hear your message delivered live
and in person. Live is always best, just like this show being live and not pre-recorded. Always best. I feel like the energy is different when it's a live show.
I agree.
Right?
I think that, this show being live gives you a chance to engage also with people, which brings energy. Even if you're not live in front of them and then live audience, you have a live stream audience that still can engage and still bring some of that energy. And I agree, that's always best. So, hey, Mary, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, tell everybody a little bit about who is Mary, if they've missed your past episodes, and what are you all about? What are you up to?
Well, first, I just want to say thanks for having me on the show again. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mary Fain Brandt. I'm a career coach and LinkedIn strategist. So LinkedIn is my playground. It's the only social media platform that I play on and that I strategize on. And I really, my passion is to help people with their careers and find the right job for them that uses their skills and talents. So to have a purposeful career, instead of just working 9 to 5, because that was me almost 10 years ago. And, sucking the daylight out of you, that's no good. Listen to this. The average American adult will work approximately 96,000 hours in their lifetime. We need to make those hours count and to be happy with the work that we're doing. So that's my real passion. And then, of course, LinkedIn, how do you position yourself? So I help business owners and sales team really create their own brand and position themselves on LinkedIn. And then really how to use the platform, because just having a great profile isn't enough. And you guys know that because you do such a great job of engaging, and I'm all about cultivating the relationships like I have with you and Bruce. I mean, Bruce and I host LinkedIn Local Phoenix, which is our live event. And so that's what my big passion is, along with giving back to my local community with my time, my talents, and my treasures.
Well, I think that is awesome what you just said. Your LinkedIn Local live event. So you're taking this amazing platform. And you know what? No matter what platform you're watching on, there's so many opportunities all across the board. So we're just using this for an example, but you take the LinkedIn platform and you build this community, and then you go transfer that to live. And this is how you build really true, meaningful connections, right, Scott?
Absolutely. It's all about building those relationships up. And the only way you can build relationships is to spend time with people. If you can do it face to face, fabulous. If you can do it virtually, then do that.
And I think that we all have an opportunity to do it face to face, whether it's a group of 5 people for lunch, or maybe you start your own small networking group, which is what Bruce and I did in Arizona because we were both new to Arizona, and why we have strong online networks. And you guys know I'm from San Diego. My network is very strong there. But I wanted to create my own community here locally because I really am about community and the local community. So working with other business owners, supporting them, driving business to them. That's one of my favorite things to do. So bringing our online community offline to mix and mingle. And our website says, this is a no business card event. And I literally mean that. Like, I want people to bring business cards, but I put that out there because it's not this. You're not through the room.
Yeah, being a blackjack dealer at a business event is a bad idea.
So bad. I'm like, no, we don't allow that. And so it was funny because at our event in February, a gentleman came for the first time and we started talking. I'm like, oh, well, let's set up coffee or lunch. I want to get to know you better. Do you have a business card? And he goes, Mary, I didn't bring any because it said no business cards.
I love it. When I go to events like that, I'll take 5 or fewer business cards because my goal isn't to, as I say, deal out a whole deck worth of cards. I just want to meet a few people. Yeah. And if a business card is a great reminder, that's great. I work with a lady that Sandy Hubbard, is in the printing industry, and she has never in her life had business cards.
Because that's ironic.
She says, she goes, if I give Mary a business card, then I'm dependent on her to follow up. But I'll take Mary's card or I'll take her information. Now I know we're going to follow up.
That is a hot networking tip.
That is.
So take the other person's business card. Also, I like what you said is I don't go to a networking event. When I started, I went just to meet people. I didn't know what I was doing. I like to talk to people, so I do that well. But then I became very strategic. When I go to a networking event, my strategy is 3. I want to meet 3 fabulous people. That's it. I don't need to meet 50. I need to meet 3 people. One person that can introduce me to someone that I can do business with, like when I was trying to get into schools. So someone that has, a connection at a university or a college. Someone that could become a great referral partner. So we complement each other's business and we can refer people. And then one person that is a potential client. That is my networking strategy.
Well, looking for fabulous people. And then part of that strategy, then you remember to take a hashtag Russ selfie, because then they remember who you are when they leave. And speaking of fabulous people that have been in hashtag Russ selfies, here is the man, Mr. Bruce, the man in the blue shirt. Woo.
Is he coming or going? I'm trying to.
So Well, we'll talk about that if we have time. So this is the back of my avatar. So I'm listening in because I'm a process fixer or a process guy. So many great processes, and it all started in September of different years. September 2021, I got introduced to Mary through Tisha Marie Pelletier. September 22, I got to meet Russ in person. I'm sorry, D. Scott, I missed you because you were down in Phoenix. So imagine that. And I didn't know you were meeting Mary. So what an amazing...
I didn't either.
No, but what an amazing way the process works. And, I'm all about helping either clean up somebody's process or fix it, or ideally redesign it from scratch or redesign it, doing it over. And I love threes like Mary. So that's why my core method is simpler, faster, better. I'm a process fixer, and I can work with any organization in any mode that they prefer. And that's the key, they prefer. And the other thing I would say is that, I love, and I learned this from Mary, I love to talk to people about any platform, but particularly LinkedIn. I love to talk about the process of the 4 C's, right? And the 4 C's, not only about what you said about connecting. So it starts with a conversation. And actually, if you think about it, the 4 of us all started with a conversation, probably on comments. I was lucky I got introduced to Mary in person through Tisha Marie Pelletier, and we had a happy hour, which was another story. But anyway, so it starts with a conversation that leads to a connection. And the point about that connection is you're looking to build a community. And I love the fact that Mary and I were in LinkedIn locals in different parts of California. We brought both of our treasures, as Mary calls it, to Phoenix. And we've adapted and adopted how we build a community. And part of that community is giving back. And why would you want to give back? Because for me, my numbers are pretty consistent with others. 6% of the people I meet, I'm going to jive with. And those 6% are the community that you seek to collaborate with. So there's your 4 C's: conversation, connection, community, collaborate. What I find very intriguing is there's so many people that want to go from a conversation straight to collaborate. And then they say, oh, this networking stuff doesn't work.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
like
it does.
this.
I think,
Yes.
I think that so many people get the cart before the horse, as my mom used to always tell me. Mama said,
Yeah.
don't get the cart before the horse. You need to actually truly connect with people and build community. Just like Zig Ziglar said, you build the people, you
Right.
make that connection, and the people build your business. You need to have that community. And that's why we all get along so great, because we're all about connecting, networking, building community, bringing good people together. And what I love about this conversation is we all have little different ways of going about it, but they're all good, and people can learn from all the different perspectives. And then you make it your own, right? You make it your own authentic way of connecting, right, Mary?
Take what they learn here and create their own authentic networking and connecting methods. So for me, so I have the 3C method, and that came out from the pandemic. Let's go back to the pandemic when everybody decided they needed to be on LinkedIn and they needed to grow a network overnight, right? Because they hadn't grown their network on LinkedIn and everything shut down, lunch meetings, networking. They're like, Mary, what do I do? I'm like, well, it takes time. You should have been doing this 2 years ago. But,
Right.
my thing is the 3C method is connect, cultivate, and convert. And convert does not mean sales. So connecting with the right people strategically. And you got to have fun people in the mix. Some people on LinkedIn, they're like, only connect with your ideal client. I'm like, why would I do that? Who am I going to learn from? Who am I going to mentor? Right? So your strategic network should be very diverse. People you can learn from, people that you can teach, people that would be referral partners, brand ambassadors, and of course, potential clients. And then cultivate those relationships, like Bruce said, commenting on LinkedIn, right? Commenting on posts,
Absolutely.
sharing, I like to share tools and apps. You guys know that I have an AppSumo problem. I'm Mary, and I have an AppSumo problem. I have stopped that, but people, I'm like, what are you looking for? Oh, wait a minute. I have this.
Mm.
And ironically, Tisha Marie, I just gave her Heartbeat for something that she's working on. But like, if anyone has an app question, ask me, because I probably bought it, used it, didn't use it because I didn't like it. But anyway, so like provide value. And then the convert them into your network. Are they going to be a referral partner? Are they, can you guys become strategic referral partners? I have quite a few of those from LinkedIn. Are they going to be a brand ambassador? Some people just love to shout your name out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So thank them for that, or convert them into a potential client or future client. So I like to say convert into opportunities. So when you say the word convert, it doesn't mean client, it means opportunities.
Yeah. And shameless plug, my method is right here in the book, Business Networking, a Scientific Method, to connect with people at events. I have a 6-step process, and it ends after the 6th step is getting permission to follow up, right? Getting permission. Right. And in there's a structure, and there's 5 distinct roles. And the largest that people have in your network, and the largest group of people are what I call partners. And those are people who solve problems you don't solve, but allow you to add value. So if someone comes to me and they say, well, Scott, I'm trying to grow my business. I don't know which social media platform to use. There's so many of them out there. They're confusing. I said, well, what do you do? Oh, you're business to business. Tell you what, why don't you talk to my friend, right? Mary Fain Brandt. She is a LinkedIn expert, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't teach people how to use LinkedIn, but I know somebody who does. Now I become more valuable to all these people because 2/3 of my network are people who solve problems I don't solve. Oh, you have a business process problem you need? I know, a man in a blue shirt.
You're so good at that. I love that. Allow you to add value. Allow us to introduce you to our amazing friends who can add value to you. Before you go into the real steps and technical part with Scott too, you got to make sure that you're not befuddled and you can live the life you choose, where we talk about your perspective, your purpose, and how you get started to network and build community. So, as we're giving shameless plugs, we'll throw that in. But, Bruce, you have branded the man in the blue shirt. You live stream. You've been great at actually connecting with people. You've gone purposely all over the world to connect with people you have met on LinkedIn. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Mary said the S word, the nice S word, strategy, right? It's my number one talent is strategy. So strategically, I go to visit and enjoy time with and learn from the people that I think are strategically important, not only to me, but what Scott said is, 6% of my people are going to jive with me, which means 94% of the other people, I can either cross refer, I can introduce. I love making common ground introductions. But the point about all that, and I don't have my journal, I wish I did, but everything that I do process related is in my Fix It journal. So you can get it on Kindle Direct Publishing. It's called the Fix It Journal, or Bruce Carnohan /books. So that's my shameless plug. But the point about that is that Fix It journal ties together all of the short, quick improvements that you can do and you can help others do. So it's a journal. It lasts for a year. You can make it last longer if you want. So that's my shameless plug. And then what eventually happens, if you look behind me, that whole method of meeting people in person becomes an online headquarters where, I used to send people on my link tree to 12 different places. I mean, how confusing is that? So my strategy was to learn, how do I put together a one-place communication? And this is it. It's a virtual headquarters. It's everything that was on my link tree. It's interactive. You can make a fun avatar. And I will be doing not only live workshops, but I will be doing an advocacy program inside of this HQ because I have a very special eye condition, which I've only recently shared with people. And I'm going to start to become a patient advocate for people that don't know how to really talk to their eye doctor about certain things that are difficult to talk about. So I've had to learn how to do that, and that's going to be my new specialty in my headquarters, is helping eye doctors understand what their role is to enhance the patient experience and not worry so much about how are they going to get their money from the insurance company, right?
Right.
And
Well,
that's
I
a
think,
whole minefield. We won't get into that piece,
yeah,
but I want to be an advocate for the patient experience that is difficult to do. I mean, I'm pretty bold and I'm pretty out there, but most people that go to any medical profession don't really challenge them and don't really ask them to talk to them in
It's because
everyday
they have a title. They have a title doctor, and they're like, they're smarter than me. They know everything. Because I agree with Bruce. Like, I'm a big advocate. I question a lot of things
You
because
do, and I'm so proud that you do. And you and I have had many discussions about. I
we
can't
question
believe.
each other, but we cultivate the relationships, but we do question each other in a good business sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Scott questions me all the time. It's fine. I get that all the time. Scott looks at me and says, Russ,
Are you
what
sure?
are you doing? What exactly are you talking about? I wanted to say that I love what you're talking about advocating, Bruce, and you're taking a personal experience, you're advocating. First off, let me back up and say that in your strategy of connecting and building community and imparting all your wisdom, thank you that I was part of that. What a blessing that I got to be in your path as you went around. And I appreciate that so much. So first, let me just thank you for that. Number two, I just wanted to say that all of us have an experience of life. And it's kind of like this show called The Experience. I don't know where that is, but I've heard of it somewhere. But, it is all, we're taking this experience and these lessons, and we're growing and actually being able to use those with people. I have a lot of current experience with doctors and lessons in life. And you know what? You can take them and use them for good, or you can take them and you can sit around and just wallow in the muck and the mire and use it to depress yourself. So I choose to use it for good. And I love what you're doing, Bruce. And I love what you're all about. And Mary, you too. I mean, just what a bright spot you are, and how much great energy you bring to everything, that's really starts the conversation well.
Well, with it, taking something that you're going through, right, and using it for good. So we launched, my co-host Laura Bayshore and I launched our podcast finally after talking about it for months and wanting it to be perfect. I want to remind everyone, perfect doesn't exist. Done is better than perfect. I tell my clients that, but it's hard to take it in myself. But we launched our podcast in June, and it's called Redefine Your Career Journey, because we really want to help people to understand that they need to become the CEO of their career, right? So the experiences that we've gone through, getting laid off, losing my job, I was putting everything in that employer. I was dependent upon them to get a promotion, right? I would put in the work, but just because you put in the work doesn't mean you're going to get the promotion or the raise. So we're really on a mission to educate our network, our career professionals, on how to become the CEO of their career, and to really have a strategy instead of just, I'm working at this company and you know what, in 5 years, I'll become the VP of sales. You need to have that strategy. So taking the experiences and what we've learned and then putting that into a package where we can help other people. So we're really excited about that.
That is such a great perspective, because just like Bruce was saying, he wants to advocate for the patients to these doctors just because they have a title. And just because someone has a title of vice president, executive vice president, or director of human resources doesn't mean they have the best interest of your career.
Right.
Only you. I always tell, I learned this, 15, 20 years ago. You have the best interest. No one else does, not your boss. I don't care how much you love your boss. They don't have your best interests at heart. A company is there to make a profit.
Mm-hmm.
That at the bottom line is you can love your coworkers, you can love your boss, you can love the owner of the company, but you have to remember at the end of the day, you have your best interests at heart. And it's hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around that.
Yeah. And, Mary, I want to chime into that because we talked about, you're talking about your best interest, and we talked about advocating for medical things and all that. Something you find with doctors too. Doctors don't know what you're going through. And a lot of times they're just trying to churn through their patients. I have been blessed with amazing doctors. First of all, let me say that have been great.
Right.
But I've also gone to doctors and different specialists that they want to get you out the door as soon as they can. And they don't really care about you because they don't really understand where you're coming from. And, so I think that it's so important not only to advocate for ourselves, but to advocate for others, because that sometimes people that's defeating. It pushes people down, and instead of inspiring them to do something, it hurts them. Right, Bruce?
Absolutely. So, I've been talking particularly in the eye doctor world about, how do you make your processes patient centric, right? What I mean by patient centric is, what's the experience like? What could they have done differently or better? Did they start on time? Because here's a little process tip. Doesn't matter what process. If you don't start on time, you will never finish on time.
Really?
Really? And it's amazing. And the impact of not starting on time. Now, you can't, if I'm a bad patient, don't show up on time. But most patients are pretty good. They show up on time. Do we start on time? Maybe not. And then as you leave the practice, there's a couple of questions that I have never been asked that are so simple. Like, what could we have done differently to help in your experience today? Differently is the key word. Or what could we have done better to help in your experience today? And you know what? All the market research that all these medical professionals need, it's right there in those two questions. How many of you, I'll challenge you or in the audience, how many of you have ever been asked those two questions as you leave?
Not me, but Bruce, I can share this with you. It is a medical experience. As you know, I have some back issues. And so I was seeing a new back doctor here, a spine doctor. First, they had me see the nurse practitioner. So I was irritated because I've already been through all this. She's like, well, I'm like, no, I've done this, this, and this, and this. And so then I said, I want an appointment with a spine doctor. So I got that set up. I went, I'm always early. They took me in the room. They left me there for 20 minutes and I could hear the girls outside the room talking and giggling. I got up. Nobody came in and said, we're running late. We'll be right with you. I walked out. I went to the front desk. I'm like, I'm leaving. I've been here for 20 minutes. Nobody has come in, refund my payment. And I stormed out. I was just livid that you think I can go sit there for 20 minutes and nobody come and check on me. And so that doctor will never get a referral from me. And he's lucky I don't put his name on social media.
Well, that's the thing, I think, where people they're not really thinking about you or other people. They're thinking about their schedule and how many they have to churn through. And you're right. It's very irritating when you have to wait so long, for people. And I understand that many of those are well-meaning and they're trying to spend time with their patient and they get running behind. But usually most of the doctors I see will tell you, hey, he's running a little bit behind, hang tight. He's going to get to you. And they at least give you a little bit of heads up so you know what's going on.
That's all they had to do was come in and say, doctor's running late. But I'm going to put it in perspective for you guys. Where I live, it's pretty quiet. I live in Surprise, Arizona. It's not a big city. There were 3 other people in the waiting room. After me. Like this, it wasn't like, 10 people are in the lobby. It's a very quiet office. So,
yep. This is one of the things I learned out of college. I was in banking. And, you go into the bank and there's a line and you're waiting and you see, right? And what I learned was that if I just make eye contact, right? So Bruce is there in line and he's like the third person in line. but I make eye contact with him, that resets his clock, right? So he may have been there for a minute. He can be there for another 2 minutes, 3 minutes. If I make eye contact, I acknowledge him as a human being, right?
Yeah. They just put me in a room and left me there for 20 minutes, and it was
They should have at
cold.
least made eye contact with you, right?
Right. So
Knock
I
on
want
the
to
door.
jump. I'm sorry. I want to jump in, and while I don't miss the moment, we should exchange waiting for wasting, because time is the only non-recyclable commodity on this planet. I don't care what anyone says.
Absolutely. You know,
So
I talk about the 1440 Club, right?
Yeah.
Every day has 1,440 minutes. And yesterday, I used all of them. Not maybe optimally, because there are no rollover minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
So instead of, waiting room, it should be the wasting time room. And that's the point about being a patient-centric organization.
Wow.
If you're really patient-centric, you will flow that patient through the process and communicate with them at every step of the way, and then ask them about their experience, rolling it back to the experience. It is about the experience, good, bad, or indifferent. Right?
It is.
And we
It is
remember
totally. It's totally about the experience. In fact, the doctors that I have seen at OHSU for, through this whole cancer journey and through my diabetes and all these things that have cropped up and I've had to deal with, have been amazingly responsive. And when the doctor can't be responsive, he's got a team that's responsive that talks to me and lets me know what's going on. They've come up with things like my chart where you can communicate with them online and you can actually keep the flow of communication because, they're busy, they got a lot of going on and they're doing surgeries and they're doing, but the thing is the experience you're delivering as a medical professional, as a business, as whatever is going to determine your success in life because you are building those clients, you're building those patients, you're building those people, their perspective of you. And so it's so important to do it correctly. And so anyway, you two are such a blessing. I have to be the responsible host and I need to get things moving because we've rolled over time. So we've got to start with Mary and give our last golden nugget of the day, Mary, and how people get in touch with you.
Golden nugget of the day. Always be growing your network. I work with people and they're like, I got a new job, so I don't need to do anything else. I want you to always be growing your network for everyone, business owners, and especially my career professionals out there. Don't stop just because you got your dream job. How to connect with me here on LinkedIn. You can follow me, but you'll need my email. So listen carefully. hello@maryfainbrandt.com. You'll need that if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn. So maybe someone can throw that in the comments and listen to our podcast, Redefine Your Career Journey, learn how to become the CEO of your career. We're on all the major podcast platforms. I think that's what it's called. I'm new to the podcasting world.
Everywhere you find podcasts.
Yes.
Well, and that did magically appear below you, Mary, all your contact information, which is all clickable, by the way, everybody. So
I
Bruce,
thought maybe you had a magic unicorn in the background that was going to type all that in.
Magic.
Thank you, Ever.
Her name is Ever, and she's
Ever.
amazing. Yeah, Ever is amazing. Okay, Bruce.
1.5 tips. Thank you, everybody that's commenting live, because I'm not so good at keeping up with the comments, but I've noticed people flying by. So thank you. Love the loyal support. My nugget is think about how you can save a minute per day. Now, why is that significant? If I save a minute per day and turn that into effective time, imagine a team of 10, that's 10 per day. Imagine a team of 100 per day. Do the multiple, 500 minutes a week with a team of 100. It's such a simple question. How can I save a minute per day and make it more effective? I would challenge people. If you find ways to save a minute per day, you will transform how you are able to give a customer client experience way better than anybody else. That's it. That's simple.
Wow. And people get in touch with you how?
Oh, sorry. LinkedIn. I think I'm the only guy in the blue shirt is my hashtag. LinkedIn's my primary. I don't have an email funnel, but I like that idea, Mary. So you can DM me on LinkedIn, or you can, just do that. That's the best way, because I centrally channel even to my headquarters here through LinkedIn. So
world headquarters.
World
domination by Bruce Carnohan.
Actually, universal headquarters, because
there you go.
It can be interplanetary as well.
Oh yeah, galactic headquarters for
galactic headquarters.
The galactic blue shirt.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey, well, listen, while we're still on, everybody, I want to remind you, not only are we here every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your viewing and listening pleasure, but we're here now. It's not too late to tag your friends and share this with them, because they can catch the end and then they can go back and watch it on replay. It's not too late. So join us still, get it out there. And as Bruce said, time is non-refundable. Save a minute. Or I don't know who said that, but anyway, one of you amazing people said, time is non-refundable and you need to manage your time well now. And Mary, I also want to say, one of the comments you made, this is why we get along so good. And I'm sure I probably stole it from you, but I always tell them, good and done is better than perfect and not done. And so good lesson in life is to get things done, move forward, and do a good job, but don't be stressed out with being a perfectionist. Get things done, move forward, and make corrections and improvements as you go. And that is how you build things and move forward and build people. So, okay, 100%. with that, we want to say goodbye to both of you, and we're going to send you to the green room after we wave goodbye, but hang tight because we want to chat with you. Okay.
All right, cool.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Make them keep waving until I can actually click them off. There we go. All right. Yes. Amazing, Scott.
Well, I love that, Russ. I don't like to brag, but I am very important. And if I remain on the line, someone will be right with me.
That's right. You are very important, and we do hear that a lot. I hear that more than you can imagine.
Yeah, someone will be right with me. Someone.
I have been on holds for medical doctors, and I'm sure that there's many of you out there. I'm not unique. I understand that. We all have our medical things. We all have our life things. So many of you can relate to this and what Scott said. But you know what? Remember, when you're dealing with people, if they are really important and you are going to get them to them as soon as possible, don't leave them on their life on hold for an hour waiting to get to them.
I don't know. And especially playing that cheesy music. Maybe they should replace the music with books on tape so you can get some benefit from it.
I would hope so, something. And they could definitely pick better music on most of those. But anyway, Scott, what have you got going on this week?
Well, it's, this has just been great. I love the experience. You've got some great shows tomorrow. We're winding up this season of the experience. Of course, at 9 a.m., it is 9 a.m. Pacific time. That is the Aging Better Network, producing my wife's show, Aspects of Aging, and it's unscripted conversations. She has some remarkable guests every week.
She does.
And, those conversations are just this is one of the things that's really interesting is that it's not like a panel. This is more like you're sitting around just listening to people's conversation and getting so much value out of it. It's very interesting structure. Yeah. So I encourage everybody, Aging Better Network, you can find her on LinkedIn.
Well, I agree with that. And the thing is, this is what I want to encourage people. I always have a meeting and things on during Christine's show, but when I get 5 or 10 minutes, I click over and watch for a few minutes, because then I get a good flavor for what they're talking about. And then I can always go back and watch on replay. So everybody just needs to remember that. We know you're busy. We know you don't have time to sit on live stream shows all day long. But when you get an opportunity, join the Experience Live with Russ and Scott every Wednesday at 7 a.m. on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And that's 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And before that, we are over on Instagram 6:30 a.m. on the Experience Backstage with our friend Shri. Occasionally, Dr. Nupi Aurora, who is our sponsor for that show, drops in to join us, and we are so thankful for her. Anyway, and one last time, we want to shout out to our amazing friends, Laura Gillot and Emily Harmon, who make this show possible. So anyway, with that, I think, Scott, it's time to wrap things up.
We'll wrap it up, and we'll see everybody next week on The Experience Live with Russ and Scott.
That's right. And until then, have a great day and a great life, and
enjoy the experience.
Woo!
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time. Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.